So basically what we're about to film here is FAC is coming up on May 7th, and we have 3 fighters on there that we're kind of doing this little mini documentary series about, called The Up and Comer. We got Devin Webber, we got Sean Atkinson, and we got L. Wagman. They're all fighting on the same night. They've all got tough opponents, and they're all in different spots in their career. You have one who's a low-level amateur making his way up through. You've got one that's a low-level pro and working towards the big show, and then you got one that's just made her pro debut and is looking to stay undefeated. So you're going to get to see a little bit of every one of their journeys, to be able to see how these guys prepare for their fights, at what level they're at, and how they're all training the exact same way. They're all training like they want to be in the UFC, not like they want to be on a low-level amateur show. They're training with the highest level of the sport to become, you know, UFC fighters and to become really high-level pros. I want to show other people, you get to see the high-level guys after they've made it. You get to see the big stories after they're already in. But what I want to show is the guys that I think are going to make it to the big show, how they're training still at a low level, how they're training even though they have 4 or 5 jobs, you know? Whether this is for the fan that just wants to see how the lower level guy does it, or this is for the guys that are low-level amateurs, low-level pros, and are wondering, you know, what do they need to do to make it to the high level? Don't just look at how I'm training at the high level, look at the guys that are under me trying to get to where I'm at. They're training just like me. They're training, you know, their butts off to raise their careers up and get to the high level.
My name's Devin Webber. I'm a MMA fighter out of Glory MMA Fitness. My record's 2-2. My next fight is at welterweight. I'm fighting Caleb Crump. He's out of Colorado somewhere, May 7th for FAC. I started wrestling when I was 12, and that kind of got me like into combat sports a bit. I watched a UFC event, saw a guy named Matt Hughes. He became my favorite fighter instantly, and then I knew that's what I wanted to do. I started jiu-jitsu around the same time when I was 12 years old after watching that, and then knew when I was 18 I was gonna have my first fight. I came to Glory after my first pro loss. I had an injury in the fight, took some time off, kind of got a little depressed, decided I was gonna quit fighting, and then took some time off and realized I couldn't quit fighting. Was a little out of shape, decided I was gonna move to Glory. Best decision I ever made. Yeah, I knew some of the guys at Glory, and I had been following some of the careers, and I knew this was like the gym to get me to the next spot. But when I came in, it was like a culture shock. It was like nothing I had experienced before. Everything was crazy. The talent was crazy. The work ethic was, and I mean, I got tired instantly, but I knew like I made the right decision first day. So Grant, on my first day rolling, I was kind of sitting out, watching out because it was an open mat type thing. And he was like, so you just came up here to sit? And I was like, no, I was gonna go, I just don't know. He's like, let's go. And then me and him ended up going 5 rounds straight together. And then, you know, that was the first time like getting to know Grant. And then when me and Grant like started getting a lot closer, he came down to corner me for my first fight with Glory. And came down to Wichita. We got to talking, and we developed a really good friendship from it. Best thing with Grant is he's doing everything I want to do. Like coach-wise, he's where I want to be. Undefeated in the UFC. He fights how I want to fight. Pressure, just break people. I try to emulate his style a lot. Coaching-wise, I understand a lot of what he's saying because our fight style is real similar. We have a lot in common. We talk smack a bunch, and it's just like we're always, you know, helping build each other up, and you kind of got to have people who have the same interest as you. You got to support yourself with them kind of people because, you know, they're the only people who understand what you go through every day. So my last fight, you know, I'm not making any excuses. I was dominating the fight, got caught. I would think I'd be in a lot closer place right now if I didn't get caught in that last fight. So this fight's to get me back on track. After I beat this guy, I'm gonna rattle off 4 or 5 more wins, and my goal is mid to next year be in the UFC, getting my first fight, or on the Contender Series, winning a contract. So this is like kind of a turning point for me. Like after I get this win, I feel things are just gonna line up for me.
Devin Webber, he's fighting on the card as well. It's actually a unique fight here, as the guy he's fighting has beaten one of our guys and gone to a draw with another one of our guys. So we haven't gotten a win over him yet, and I definitely think that Devin is the guy. He's tough, he's durable for sure, but I just think that Devin's on a different level. Devin's a unique case because he's had some struggles in the past. His record isn't the best on paper, but he's just so much better than his record shows. You know, he's one of my main training partners, if not my main training partner. I trained with him a lot moving up from my last fight. I know what he's capable of, and I know what he can do. He's just got to be able to put it together in the cage, and I think that he's finally hit that point. I think he's got the confidence. He's almost there, and I think that in this fight he's definitely going to show some new skills. And I'm calling it now. I think we're going to get a first round knockout.